The world's countries and markets are rapidly being supplied with ever more powerful low-cost utility vehicles. At the same time, emissions have to be kept to a minimum. That's why there are strict guidelines in Europe for all utility vehicles, aimed at steadily reducing the permitted levels of pollutants. SCR, or selective catalytic reduction, is a method developed to selectively remove harmful nitrogen oxides from the exhaust emissions of utility vehicles with diesel engines. To function, SCR requires small amounts of AdBlue, a diesel fuel additive. SCR technology makes it possible for diesel engines to become even cleaner while remaining economically efficient. The power source in Mercedes-Benz utility vehicles is the diesel engine. It's more economical than any other type of engine and has the right power characteristics, not only for high economy during use, but also for long and trouble-free operation. Mercedes-Benz, the largest producer of utility vehicles in the world, is also the largest manufacturer of diesel engines for medium and heavy-duty utility vehicles. The term utility vehicle already contains the objective: to achieve maximum possible customer utility, even in the light of increasingly stringent emission legislation. In 1990, the year the first Euro emissions control directives were formulated, authorized emission levels were still relatively high compared to today, and there were still no limitations at all on particulate matter. The guidelines that followed steadily lowered all maximum values. Nevertheless, most car makers, including Mercedes-Benz of course, successfully managed to adapt their engines accordingly. As a result, combustion became cleaner, more powerful, and more economical. When the Euro 4 emissions control directive comes into effect, one thing will be clear: the maximum values can no longer be achieved by engine internal measures. There are worlds between Euro 3 and Euro 4. The low quantities of nitrogen oxides and particulate matter have left engine manufacturers with just one option: the exhaust requires secondary processing. Up until the current Euro 3 limits, Mercedes-Benz successfully reduced emissions by making technical changes to the engine. The introduction of intelligent electronics has boosted this development greatly. The introduction of exhaust treatment for diesel engines heralds a further quantum leap in development. This is roughly how to imagine a modern diesel engine with Euro 3 conformity. Particle emission, nitrogen oxides emission, and diesel consumption all fall within optimal and legally prescribed parameters. But now, authorities insist on particulate mass and nitrogen oxides being further reduced for Euro 4. If an attempt is made to reduce the nitrogen oxides by means of altered combustion, the following occurs. Consumption and particulate mass increase very rapidly. A filter has to trap the increased particulate mass, and higher fuel consumption has to be accepted. SCR technology relies on optimal combustion. Even though this increases the formation of nitrogen oxides, it simultaneously reduces consumption and particulate mass. Of course, the nitrogen oxides need to be trapped as well. That's not simple, but the reward for taking such trouble is clear. Fuel consumption is reduced. There are many good arguments in favor of SCR technology. For instance, you can get by with relatively few additional components. That means it can be easily integrated into existing truck concepts. Mercedes-Benz utility vehicles are also driven outside Western Europe with its comparatively good fuel quality. Increased sulfur content in lower quality fuel has no effect on SCR technology, something that unfortunately doesn't apply to conventional soot filters. AdBlue is environmentally compatible, safe, and already available in large quantities in Europe, albeit for other applications. In this example, we see how SCR technology can be integrated into a heavy-duty truck. Hardly any changes need to be made. The few components of the SCR system are all maintenance-free. They are marked in red. On the right of the vehicle frame, facing the direction of travel, is the AdBlue storage tank with the feed pump in front of it. At the front, beside the engine, right next to the turbocharger, is the dosing control unit. Behind and beyond it, on the right-hand side of the engine, is the electronic engine management. Alongside numerous other functions, this calculates the optimal amount of AdBlue and passes on the information to the dosing control unit. The catalytic converter can be seen to the left of the vehicle frame. The data streams for the SCR control are marked in yellow and the AdBlue connections in blue. A look into the exhaust system directly behind the turbocharger shows that, to be effective, AdBlue has to be subjected to fine air turbulence. In long-distance traffic in particular, fuel consumption makes a big competitive difference because of its major influence on life cycle costs for both the vehicle manufacturer and the customer. The blue pie chart represents the consumption of a conventional diesel engine. Engines with SCR technology use significantly less diesel fuel. This creates a considerable cost advantage, especially in long-distance traffic. Here, diesel costs make up 30% of the life cycle costs. Even though AdBlue has to be added together with diesel, the vehicle only needs roughly the amount that is being saved in fuel. Since AdBlue will cost less than the equivalent amount of diesel fuel, a saving effect is generated. Whoever uses SCR technology is not only taking pressure off the environment, but off their wallet too. If we imagine the exhaust flow as a large stream made up of nitrogen, oxygen and other gases and particles, the nitrogen oxides only constitute a very small fraction of it. We refer to ppm, parts per million, but those few droplets are what we're reducing, safely, strategically and affordably. During optimal combustion, they're undesirable but unavoidable. The nitrogen oxides, nitrogen monoxide and nitrogen dioxide. These are removed from the exhaust stream by means of SCR technology. A crucial role is played here by ammonia. It is added to the exhaust stream and continually metered so that it's always in perfect balance with the nitrogen oxides present. That way, two relatively reactive substances are brought together, and they ultimately neutralize each other. To make ammonia safe for people and the environment, and easier to handle for transportation and filling, a precise concentration of it is contained in the SCR method in the form of a watery urea solution. That's AdBlue. AdBlue is non-toxic, odorless, and what's more, it is also cheap to produce. And here you can see what's left behind from the catalytic reaction in the SCR system and what enters the atmosphere. Only nitrogen and steam. Let's have a look. We're in the exhaust stream, directly behind the turbocharger. Around us are the nitrogen oxides produced during combustion. Now it's the turn of AdBlue. It is sprayed very finely and whisked along by the stream of exhaust gases. In the heat of the exhaust stream, AdBlue hydrolyzes, that is, ammonia molecules begin to form. A high-precision, electronically controlled metering unit ensures that just the right amount of AdBlue required is injected. AdBlue ammonia and nitrogen oxides approach the catalytic converter. The converter contains locations where the ammonia molecules can dock. The reaction begins. A nitrogen monoxide molecule meets an ammonia molecule. Energy is released. Water and nitrogen are all that remain, and they move away in the direction of the exhaust pipe. The same thing happens to NO2 molecules. They too are instantly transformed into water and nitrogen at the same time as the ammonia and move towards the exhaust pipe. This is clean technology because nitrogen is completely harmless. It makes up almost 80% of the air we breathe. SCR technology will make a decisive contribution. All utility vehicles equipped with it will easily pass the new emission tests scheduled for 2005 and 2006. Further developed, the technology should also enable conformity to the maximum values set for 2008 onward. All this makes SCR a solution with perspective.